So, like you said, I've been very blessed to have grown up here, and just know everybody here has been so great. I think, similar to a lot of people who are in my situation who have grown up in a church family their whole lives, I always knew that I wanted to get baptized. It was never really a question of if I believed, but when I was actually going to take that step, because for a lot of my life growing up, it was just mom and dad took me to church with them, and I was like, Mom, when can I drink the juice and have the bread, and everything like that. So when I was in grade 9 at Great Lakes, I made the decision to get baptized, and that came from a conversation with Emily Hunter, where we were sitting on the bus on a chorus trip, and she pulled me to the front and she asked me why I hadn't been baptized yet. And I told her and explained I was waiting for a moment. And I think that's, again, something that a lot of people believe that they need to have. I had heard all these amazing testimonies of people coming to know God and then making the decision, and I was kind of waiting for the moment that I was like, yes.
To be zapped.
Yes, exactly. And I remember she looked at me and she was like, well, why don't you let this be your moment? And I was like, what? What do you mean? And she was like, baptism is not the final step, it's the first one. It's the first step that you take on your journey with Christ. And so I got home and I told my parents I wanted to get baptized, and I did, and she was very right in the idea that that was my first step, I would say. I'm still on that journey, obviously, and making my faith my own, but I would say it wasn't until my first year of university that I really started, and I had to start making the choice myself to intentionally seek out Christian community and my own relationship with God, aside from my parents and aside from, coming here every week and having people around me who kind of made it easier for me to just live that life. I think there are two kind of hardships that come to mind. The first one is in first year university. I was just going through a really rough time. I think it was second semester. There were a lot of different things that kind of played into it, but I was just going through a really bad time of depression. It was just kind of taking it day by day, and I just felt very alone, and I just was watching a whole bunch of my friends, go in different ways and kind of straying away from their faith, and it led me to have a lot of different questions about, why God allows certain things to happen. And, God obviously taught me a lot in that time. And it's...
Can I stop you there?
Yeah, of course.
You say God obviously. Can you say a little bit more? Because it's obvious to you, but how would it be obvious to us?
Yeah, no. I think I really was kind of stripped down to just not having, or it seemed like I didn't really have a lot in my life at the time. And it kind of so my first year of university, second semester, went from me being at school to COVID happening and going home. So I really went from just like feeling alone to being alone. Obviously I had my family, but it's just the place I was in. And so not having church to come to every week, not having my friends to surround me, not having camp to go to in the summer, these like things, these people, these places that made a relationship with God so easy, I really was forced to learn how to depend on God and like my relationship with Him beside those things. And so through that time, I kind of got to learn how to intentionally spend time with Him and seek Him out. And He answered me, He brought people into my life, gave me opportunities to really just know Him better, and He just showed Himself to me in so many different ways. And then the second hardship would be when I was 16 and I was diagnosed with cancer. And that was, of course, a very scary time. It was about a year, if I remember correctly, of x-rays and MRIs and biopsies and just a lot of questions. And, of course, then the actual surgery and recovery and everything from that. And it was a very scary time for sure. I remember specific times of fear and confusion and just sadness. But overall, when I look back and I remember in that moment too, in that time of my life, I also felt just this overwhelming peace and comfort. And I can't imagine that coming from anywhere but God. Like, I remember just feeling loved by the church and supported by the church, and just people reaching out and praying for me, and I just felt very cared for. And God really showed me through that as well.
It's interesting that you would say that in the context of kind of looking back. I personally find that sometimes it's when I look back that I see what was actually taking place at the time, but I didn't know.
Yes. So anyways, God is so good. He really has provided for me in every single situation. And again, like we were saying, like, I didn't necessarily see it at the time, or maybe it wasn't in the way that I thought it was going to be, or at the exact time that I was hoping it would be. But just being able to look back on my life, and I think it's been a little bit easier as I've gotten older to recognize at the time and be a bit more aware of it. But he has given me so much that I didn't even know I needed. He's given me opportunities to serve, opportunities to be served and to be poured into. Like, truth has been such a blessing. Getting to know the teens better and watch them grow in their faith has been so cool. Just every time that I have had to, go to God and I've asked him for something, he's giving me what is best for me and what is best for my faith and what's best for his purpose and his mission.
Thank you. Any last words?
I don't think so.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you.